The number one safety in the 2023 class is already committed to the University of Alabama. Roll Tide. Sports fans, yours truly, Coach Kevin Bull Jones here. I'm going to break it down to you why he fits everything that Coach Saban is looking for in his secondary to add more talent to what is probably going to be the best secondary in college football this year. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you click and comment. And a shout out to all those special folks that have been following me and been asking for this breakdown on Caleb Downs from Mill Creek High School down here in Atlanta, Georgia, outside of Atlanta, Georgia, Gwinnett County. All of you fans have been asking for it. Here, you got it. Yes, I already did Tony Mitchell, already took care of Jaleel Hurley. But guess what? This is the third part of that Three Musketeers coming into the 2023 class. There are some great things about this young man that fits what Bama's defense is looking for. But more importantly, this young man has a why to why he plays at the highest level he can. And there's so many attributes to why he's been successful on the high school level. And he has some key qualities that makes him not only number one safety in the 2023 class, but also the number one, the 5-star pick for that Roll Tide Bama defense. So I'm going to break it down for you. Sit back, relax, enjoy. Okay, sports fans, Caleb Downs, Mill Creek High School, 6 foot, 185 pounds, maybe a little close to the 6'1", but we'll give him 6 foot for now, but he plays much bigger than that. A true safety. Here's some things that let me go ahead and share with you some parts of him that if you know anything about Coach Saban and what he believes in as far as football IQ, there are some things that should jump out on the screen when you look at a kid. Okay. And those things supersede anything about what anybody else ranks him as, what they think he's good at, 5-star, 4-star, 3-star, 2-star, whatever the case may be. Coach Saban looks for some key things that he wants to see jump out. Okay, the number one thing that jumps out about this young man is his tenacity. He is a ferocious hitter. He's rocking souls, and it's beautiful to watch because a lot of high school kids don't commit themselves to tackling as such. You know, this whole new high school football, the way it works now, even in the pros and collegiate levels, you don't get a lot of chances to work on live tackling in practice. So you have things that you can walk through and or have speed or things of that nature, and especially on the high school level. So you don't get a chance to really just, rock people's souls in practice. Well, this young man, even though he doesn't get a chance doing it in practice, and that's fine, great coaching down at Mill Creek High School, he leaves it all on the field. It's wonderful to watch. To be able to have a tackling radius of such that he has when he comes down field and he is able to fill alleys from a high single safety position, and as well as when he's on the hash. It is jolting to watch him run through people. And it makes you jump when you see him hit people. And that's a good thing. That's what you want. That is a great part of what Coach Saban is looking for in Pete Golding for that Bama defense. That's a key part of what that young man does. And it's relentless, sports fans. He does it all the time against some really good programs and some really good players. Okay. Another thing that's great about him that I know that Coach Saban and Coach Pete Golding really do like about him is the fact that he's able to tackle in space, but more importantly, he comes in the box. He can be a box player for them. So he can be that down safety if he needs to be and come down and make tackles and play in the box. A lot of schemes have, multiple reads where linemen fit certain gaps, backers fit, especially with all that zone read stuff. And then a lot of times you have that safety who has to creep into the, pre-snap read. He's too high, and then he comes into the box to fill a void, a hole of his assignment. And a lot of times, the powers that be, those coaches that know football and watch it from a different level say, why do you bring this lightweight kid inside this box to deal with these pulling linemen and people like that? Well, guess what? Caleb Downs can handle that. He's going to drop somebody's chin. Yes, he is. He's going to run through them. And that's a beautiful thing about what he does. Another thing about him that I like, he has a ball awareness that from a safety position, and every defensive coordinator, secondary coach, you know exactly what I'm talking about. When you are playing man free, his ability in his defense in high school to play man free allows him, and there's some great things that his team does where he gets a chance to roam, and it allows him to play whether it's short routes, crossing routes, or in the 3 receiver set, he's able to jump a 3rd receiver. And a lot of that from his alignment to be able to acknowledge play recognition, that tells you how great of a job he does studying film. Okay, I'm gonna lead later to what that, I'm come back to that later, what that's all a part of. But there's a method to his madness. But you can tell that this kid does an outstanding job of watching film, anticipating where the ball is going according to down and distance, formations, and then, you know, who is the main person they're trying to get the ball to, and how do you recognize where the ball is going according to formation, alignment, and where that the offensive special player is. This kid knows how to do it. Also, when he's playing in the safety position, when he's deep safety, this is something that just, you know, it's great to my ears to hear coaches say, when a kid can get in his back pedal and stay disciplined in his back pedal, and when the ball is thrown in the air, he is still the deepest person at free safety. That is a cardinal rule when you play deep thirds, or even if you're in man free, and you're waiting for, you're telling your safety that he has to be the deepest man when the ball goes up in the air. Guess what that means? That means that he's been coached and he's learned how to efficiently make sure that he doesn't get tricked by the quarterback's eyes. Because, you know, all these quarterback guru, offensive coordinators, they tell the quarterback, move the safety. Guess what? You're not moving him. He's not going anywhere. He's going to stay in his deep third back pedal. He's going to be the deepest man. And that's why it looks awesome when he makes those, when there's deep throws made, and he's got enough time to cover enough ground to go intercept the ball thrown on the far right hash or the far left hash. This young man can do all of that. Okay, people want to talk about his speed. Okay, I'm going to give him low 4.5, high 4.4. Okay, and that's just because of, you know, he's probably faster than that when he takes off running, chasing a defender. That's another key element that I'm sure Coach Saban is going to love about him. He has a burst to him and acceleration. First of all, he plays fast all the time. So when you don't have to ask a kid to play fast all the time, he only plays fast when he thinks the play is coming to his side. Well, this kid is a 5-star, and there's a reason why. And you all know me in the past, I talked about what all these stars mean. Listen, at the end of the day, when you pop on that film, when you press click, when you see the attributes of a player's athleticism, his meanness, his toughness, his football IQ, it jumps immediately off the screen in the first 45 seconds. Keep in mind, you don't need 8 minutes of video to get a scholarship, but that's a whole nother story. That's another show. This young man, I saw it the first 3 plays. I knew exactly what it was all about. His change of direction is wonderful. He plays both sides of the ball. He plays offense and defense at Mill Creek High School. He runs the ball like his dad, Gary Downs, former NFL player. I'm gonna come back to that later. He's got those. He plants that foot. He gets downfield. Knows how to deliver a blow. He knows how to take a blow. So when he turns around and plays on the offensive side of the ball, and when he lines up at receiver, he runs precision routes. So what are we looking at? Coach Saban now has another kid that has multiple qualities that allows him to be successful on the football field. His mental toughness, this mental toughness part of a kid, meaning they want to succeed every play. I think that's another attribute that he has that Coach Saban identified with when he got a chance to meet him, Coach Pete Golden, because this kid lives, eats, sleep football. Okay, he can play in the middle, single, high safety. He can even, sports fans, if you give him a trip set, he can take the number 3 receiver and he can play down on the line of scrimmage and play a press man and get his hands and be strong enough and more physical enough to deal with the receiver that's on the line of scrimmage. And whether he stays with him or he jumps into a zone, it's to the luxury of whatever Coach Pete Golden is going to want to do with him. That's the magnificent part of kids, that when we start talking about what is a five-star, this is a kid that can do multiple things at a high level. Okay? There's good and then there's great. Good is good play. Great, you're making great plays all the time against high-level competition, against low-level competition. You're doing it all. That for me, and I know all these guys, these gurus talk about 5-star, 4-star, 3-star. There's some great 3-stars that need development, but when they get to college, they play at a 5-star level. This young man right here has what it takes to sustain a lot of success at University of Alabama, because he has a toughness to him. He has fluid hips. He runs well. He's an efficient tackler. And here's another thing that I know stands out definitely to me. When he goes to break up balls, he's going for interceptions, which means he's running his hands once again through the hands of those defenders. But more importantly, when the ball is up in the air and he's the single high receiver, he is jumping for the ball to intercept the ball, get both hands on it. Okay, so it's not about him just knocking the ball down. Okay, sometimes you can miss, and that's trouble, because that's 6 points for the other team. So he illustrates what it means to attack it at its highest point, football in the air. He can also play down in the box. He can also be a too-high safety, which means he has hash discipline on his side, or if he's in cover 4, he's a 4-deep kid. But what I like about him is you can tell he studies a lot of film, but he can, if you watch his highlights, he is already breaking to where he is claimed, he's declared in his film study who the ball is going to and where. And he's running 150 miles an hour there. Now, let me get back real quickly to some things that also behind the scenes that make him he comes from a great football family. His dad, Gary Downs, played professional football, played with Denver Broncos, played for the Atlanta Falcons, came out of NC State as a running back. He also has a brother, Josh Downs, who's an electrifying receiver at University of North Carolina up in Chapel Hill. And if that's not enough, he's got 2 uncles. He's got another relative, Dre Bly, who's on the staff at University of North Carolina, defensive back coach. Coach Dre Bly, first-round draft pick, played a legendary career in the NFL playing cornerback. And then my greatest part that I enjoy about it all is also he has another uncle, Olton Downs, who's a head coach down here at Alexandria High School down here right outside of Atlanta, Georgia. Wonderful guy, wonderful person. Also won a state championship at Creekside High School where he was a head coach. He has a different resume in that he's been a high school coach. Also had a state championship at Carver High School when he was assistant coach. But he's one of those coaches who has dedicated his life to molding young men. And he's also had a chance to go to the collegiate level and coach as well. But now he's back on the high school level. Wonderful man, wonderful family. Olton Downs, so, his uncle as well. So listen, this kid has a room of family members that have been at football at the highest level and been successful at the highest level. So whenever he has a concern or issue, or his mental process of breaking things down as far as making the adjustments on the collegiate level, even if he makes a mistake when he gets to Tuscaloosa, he makes a mistake, he's got people in the room to help him when he gets off the field, along with his position coach, T-Rob, Coach Kelly, Pete Golden, as well as the man, the myth, the legend, Coach Nick Saban. He's got a special player coming. I call it the 3-headed monster, Mitchell, Hurley, and Downs. They're on their way to Tuscaloosa. They'll be there in January. What a sight to see, to go along with what Alabama already has in the stable in that secondary. Hats off to those coaches for recruiting them. Hats off to the family. And Caleb Downs, go make your family proud. Have a great football season this fall. But more importantly, after you finish, you graduate, hurry him get down to Tuscaloosa so you can have some fun and put on the Roll Tide colors. That's it, sports fans. Enjoyed talking football. Know you folks been waiting to hear me talk about Caleb Downs. I got some more coming for you as well, too. Got some surprises for you, but thank you. If you enjoyed the show, please make sure that you comment, subscribe, like, and once again, this is Coach One Sports with yours truly, Coach Kevin Bull Jones. Enjoyed talking sports with you. We'll see you later.